SNEWS TV is brought to you in part by the Heliconia Press, digital video production, distribution, and marketing for the outdoor industry.
Hi, I'm Therese Iknoian here with SNEWS TV at the Outdoor Retailer Show. I'm here with Reinhold Messner. He is a legendary mountaineer and climber, having been the first person in 1986 to accomplish all 14 8,000-meter summits without supplemental oxygen. Since then, he's not slowed down, of course, continuing to climb, continuing to promote climbing and mountaineering, establishing museums to climbing, and establishing nonprofits to help people in the countries where he does his climbing. I understand there might also be movies in his future from what I hear. We're going to explore a little bit about some passions and inspirations he has to help us out today. Reinhold, how are you doing?
Fine, fine.
Good.
Very happy here.
Good, you're very happy here. When we talked earlier, I read a little bit about your interest in exploring the instincts of climbing. You said when you first climbed with your father at 5 years old, that he helped teach you a little bit about the instincts. Can you tell me what you mean by that?
I think that I am a normal climber, but I have something more than others, and this is the instinct I got in my youngest years when I climbed with my parents and with my brothers between 5 and 15, I would say. I learned what helped me later on to survive. I learned to understand about the weather, to feel about good rocks, bad rocks, loose rocks, to see how the ice is. I did not even know when I was 20 that the others had not this experience. They were strong climbers, they had a lot of power. But surviving in the mountains is the art of coping with nature. And nature is every day new, is chaotic, and we can react, but we can only react if we have an instinct for all these dimensions nature can have.
Mm-hmm. Is this something you said you had, this instinct, this feeling? Is this something that you trained with your father, or do you feel you just have it instinctively? You were born with it. And can people learn this?
I was born with the normal instincts everybody has. But I had the opportunity to, I would not say to learn it, but to awake it in us. When we are born, there are all the instincts which help us to survive.
So you awakened this instinct.
But normally they are hidden, they are forgotten, because we didn't use them in the last 10,000 years as human beings. But they are still there sleeping. And if a young man has, a young woman has a possibility to be in touch with nature in very young years, these instincts are awake, and so they are getting stronger and stronger and help later on to survive everybody who is getting this.
This is not just surviving, perhaps climbing 8,000 meters, but even just hiking and trekking and everyday outdoor activities.
Right. Outdoor activities for me, they are very important. Not extreme climbing, what I did, or extreme ice or rock climbing or high altitude climbing, but going out in nature. Human beings 100,000 years ago, generally, they had to cope with nature every day, and it was very difficult. A lot of danger was around. Right. And they evolved as human beings, letting grow these instincts. And each of us, especially children, having the chance to go out to see a tree, to climb on a tree a little bit, to hike, to go in the meadows, to go in the mountains or in the snow, they can awake these instincts. Otherwise they become sterile. They don't understand either what is cold, what is heat, what is danger, and how we are made, we human beings.
Let's talk a little bit about how you learned a little more about yourself during your, let's see, it was 16 years to conquer all 14 8,000 meter peaks. You mentioned that when you did the last one, that you were ready to move on perhaps and seek other adventures. Can you explain what you meant by that?
First of all, I have to say that before going to the high peaks, I was a rock climber, fanatic rock climber maybe. I was interested in doing the most difficult rock climbs, especially in the Alps. And with an accident on Nanga Parbat, I lost my brother, I lost my toes partly. I was not able to go ahead in this activity, so I became, in the second part of my life, a high altitude climber. And in this period I was able to...
What was that you called it?
High altitude climber.
A high altitude climber.
A specialist on the highest peaks.
Okay.
And in this period, I was able to fulfill all my dreams, to go up alone and to go up on Everest without oxygen. And on the end, after 15 years, I had the feeling it's enough now. I am on the edge. I could not go higher with my abilities. And I knew in the meanwhile that we are strongest if we go in new places, if we find new challenges. And I just had, when I finished with the 8,000 meter peaks, a new vision for my next life. And this was to cross the big horizontal wild fields like ice fields and sand fields. And so I begin afterwards to cross Antarctica, to cross Greenland the long way, to cross the Gobi Desert, the Sahara. And this was my third life. And doing this for 3 times, changing abruptly from one day to the next, from one field to the next field, I knew now that every 10 years, 15 years, I need a big change to invest again all my interest, all my willpower, all my enthusiasm, all my money if I have some, to go further in a new field. Because after 10, 15 years, normally we human beings reached our limit and higher we cannot go. And at least I am always pushed by what we call in German the Neugierde.
The curiosity.
My power, which is coming from outside, is curiosity. What's behind the next angle? I can go higher, I can go there, I can do this.
You also were in, let's see, what year was that? 2005, chosen by Time magazine to the list of the 60 years of heroes. And you joined that list with Pope John Paul and Mother Teresa, and there you were, Reinhold Messner. You said you shouldn't have been on the list, and you said that climbing mountains is the crusade of the useless. Yeah. What do you mean by crusade of the useless?
Now, mountain climbing is useless. It's not important. Maybe it's important that young people are going out in wilderness. Okay, this is helpful. But we are conquering nothing, the useless. It's not useful climbing mountains. It's possible. And who is pushed to do it, okay, can do it. But it's very difficult also to take responsibility for it, because it's also very dangerous what we are doing. Mm-hmm. Many people, many good climbers died in the walls or in high altitude. And if we see it from this side, from the social side, we are also responsible. We have the freedom to do the most crazy things, but we are totally responsible for what we are doing. And since it's not useful, outside people will never understand what we are really doing.
One last thing. You also said you had some advice for young aspiring climbers. Tell us again what that is, Reinhold.
I use a totally different word. It is Kalipe. It's coming from Tibetans.
Kalipe.
And when the Tibetans offer you a house for a few days, and on the end you leave their house for going to the mountains, they say Kalipe. And it means, translated, go always with small, small steps.
So I think we could say, go step by step,
and
but slowly?
Everything. Step by step and slowly, and you will reach every goal.
Reinhold, I think you have reached many goals, although I think you probably have more to come. That's what I think. Thank you for being here with us today. It was great to have you on SNEWS TV. I'm Therese Iknoian. I've been here with Reinhold Messner talking about passions, life, mountain climbing, conquering, storytelling, and all kinds of things with SNEWS TV and Reinhold Messner.